Attention! This video is a bit messy. Jin Klee spent a bit too much looking at the script while recording. She's also wearing no makeup and might attempt to dance later in the video. Viewer discretion is advised.
I need to be honest about something. I've been making content on YouTube for almost a month now, and every time I open my analytics, I keep asking myself whether, is this actually going well, or is YouTube just being nice to me because I'm new? I genuinely couldn't tell, so I went on a quest to find some answers. And what I found was reassuring, overwhelming, and a little bit funny. Let me explain. Today I want to talk a little bit about things that I've learned about content creation on YouTube in the past month or so. The thing that surprised me, but also the things that just blew my mind away. The first thing I want to talk about is algorithm. Let me give you some context. So around the same time I created my YouTube account, I also created a new TikTok account. And although I was not as active as I was on YouTube, I was still posting. But the results were really different. On TikTok, I would get roughly around 700 views per video, and I barely got 5 followers. On YouTube, on the other hand, my best performing short hit 2,000 views in 7 hours with an 89% retention rate. On a brand new channel, with 0 subs. Honestly, I was not expecting that. I think most people, including me, assume that TikTok is the easier platform to break into because of how the algorithm works. But to be fair, I think for the type of content that I want to create, YouTube has found my audience way faster than TikTok did. What I think is happening, and please take it with a grain of salt because I am no expert, is that YouTube algorithm has more data to work with than TikTok algorithm does. Especially for this type of content. Stuff like career change, mental health, burnout. These are topics that people have been searching for on YouTube for years. TikTok, on the other hand, is newer to this conversation. So if you're trying to decide whether to start posting on TikTok or YouTube, I can't give you an answer right now. Why? Because there are quite some factors that you need to keep in mind when making this decision. For me, in this niche and at this moment, YouTube seems to be the right answer. Your experience, on the other hand, might be entirely different, which is why I'm planning on making another video where I talk more about these factors and things to keep in mind when making a decision. Here's what I thought starting a YouTube channel looks like. You film something, you edit it, you post it, and people watch it.
Great success.
Now, here's what starting a YouTube channel actually looks like. You brainstorm an idea, you start writing a script, you film something. Then, you move on into DaVinci Resolve and find yourself spending hours trying to figure out how to make a piece of text or an image pop up on the screen at the exact frame you want it to. And then you research thumbnails and you discover there is an entire psychology behind it. You learn about SEO and spend another few hours trying to understand how that works and how to find the punchiest title. And then you learn about the retention curves, the click-through rates, the impression count, the suggested traffic percentages. And by the time you finally post something, you are just so exhausted to care about anything else. But honestly, I think the most excruciating thing that I have encountered is the gap between knowing how you want your video to look like and knowing how to make it look that way. I can see every detail in my head. The edits, the pacing, the text overlays appearing at the exact right moment. And then I open the editing software and I get humbled. Big time. But here's what I keep reminding myself, and maybe you need to hear this as well if you plan on starting content creation. Every content creator that you admire was also in the beginning sitting in front of their software editor, not knowing how to do the thing they had in their mind. And that gap will close. And the videos that you make while the gap is there are part of the story. My first video looks different than my second video. And this video hopefully will look a little bit different than my previous video. That's the whole point. The more you do, the more you learn. I want to talk about something that I don't think gets discussed enough about in creator spaces. About a week into the journey, I had this massive urge to share my channel with all of my friends, no exception. But I ended up not showing it to all of them. And it's not because I'm not proud of what I'm building, but because I've been there before. Some people will say they'll support you, some will watch, subscribe, even comment, and some of them just won't. And that's fine. Don't get me wrong, this is in no shape or form a criticism towards people. I'm just saying that these things can happen, and they happen more often than you think. And it's fine. The friends that I did show my channel have been so supportive, and I love you all so much, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for believing in what I'm doing. This means the world to me, and I'm so happy to have you along on this journey. But people are busy, and that's life, and it's completely fine. But I've learned that the validation that I'm looking for shouldn't come from people that I love or that love me. It should come from strangers who have no reason to watch except that something that I said resonated with them. Because honestly, that's what matters. A stranger choosing to spend 6 minutes watching me talk about my life when they could be watching literally anything else, that's kind of a big deal. So I'm kind of like building this quietly. And when I have something real to show, then I'll show it. Now that I mentioned the support, I also want to talk about engagement, specifically comments. And I know I'm just a month in. I was hoping to get more comments, and that's completely normal. But honestly, that the comments that I've got just hit different. There's just something about a stranger taking the time to not only watch your video, but also open up the comment section and type something, knowing that you'll read it. A like takes a second, and I believe that a comment takes intent. The comments that I've received made me realize that what I'm saying is landing with real people in real situations. At not even 1 month in with the audience size that I have, this is definitely not something that I'm taking for granted. So, thank you again to all of you that have been supporting me so far. I still want more, don't get me wrong, but I'm learning to measure engagement by the quality that it comes in and not the quantity. And by that measure, I think I'm actually on the right path here. I'm actually proud of what I've accomplished in almost a month. And my biggest dream right now is to start fostering a community of people that have genuine interest in learning about content creation and that might just need that little extra kick. To wrap up this section, I would like to ask, what made you leave a comment on a video recently? Was it the editing style, the content itself, the information, or perhaps it was the personality of the creator? Leave a comment down below. I cannot wait to read them. And maybe while you're at it, you will even considering hitting that subscribe button. That would help me a lot. Okay, now the question that I opened with. Is this actually going well, or is it you being nice to me? I've spent enough time in the analytics now, and I think I might have an answer to this. Here's what I know. Suggested traffic, meaning YouTube has recommended my content to people who weren't looking for me, has already appeared in my second video. Some creators don't get that months in. My best short had 89% average view, meaning that people watched it more than once. Now, does that mean I figured everything out? Absolutely not. I'm still learning how to edit. I'm still learning what makes people stay. And I'm also still trying to figure out balancing building this whole thing while looking for a new job because let's be honest, this passion right now does not pay for my bills. Honestly, right now, with how it's been going and the data that I've gathered, I feel like this could be something real. And I'm choosing to believe the data over the part of my brain that tells me that I should just give up because things are incredibly hard and nobody wants to put in the effort, right? Where I can just be playing Deadlock. Yes, I've been addicted to Deadlock for the past couple of weeks. Moving on. This being said, month one is almost down, but there's still a lot more to come. And honestly, I am so excited to see how everything will unfold. If you're somewhere in your own version of this, whether it's starting something or doubting something or trying to figure out if what you're already working on is real, I really do hope that at least a part of this video has helped you in a way. For next week, I'll talk more about factors and things to keep in mind when deciding what social media platform you should be posting on. So, that being said, until next week, stay awesome, besties.